Alright guys, it's time to take your game to the next level in NHL 22. Now, this video is going to take all of the tips and strategies I've shown you in my prior tip videos and take you to the next level. We're going to cover all of the advanced things that you should be doing once you have a good understanding of the game. This is going to include breaking the puck out. It's going to include how to do the half spins and keep the puck on your stick in the offensive zone, as well as creating time and space. It's going to show you how to use same side defensemen correctly and some of the best set plays that you can use while using the strategies that you have available to you. So without any further ado, guys, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing that we're going to go over is to show you guys how to use the half spins correctly. Now, I've mentioned this in all of my videos, basically, when it comes to playing NHL 22 and just how to set up and create some more space in the offensive zone. And last year, I made a video covering this, and it was one of my biggest videos. I was actually stunned because a lot of players have never even been shown how to do the half spins the correct way. It is definitely going to be one of the most game-changing things that you add to your gameplay if you don't do it already. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop into practice mode. We're going to go to the lab, and I'm going to show you where you need to spend at least an hour to make sure that you get it down before you try and do it in game. All right, guys, so what you want to do is go into free skate. We need to just choose a right-handed or left-handed player. It doesn't matter. Think what you use the most in terms of in-game. Do you score a lot with right-handed players or left-handed players? Do you come down the left or right-hand side? Whatever one that you use more, it's probably the best place to start. All right, guys, so we've got Logan Couture here, and I'm going to show you what you need to understand in practice, and this is by far going to be one of the biggest changes that you implement in your game, and I already know this because I showed it in a video last year. All right, so as you're skating, if you hold down L2, you will open up. See how the puck goes towards the back and his back is towards the actual boards. Now, here is the issue when you do that. So let's say you're coming down the wing and you hold down the half spin to try and open up. What happens here is now you've opened up the puck to your opponent. Your body is now in front. So basically, if he bumps you off or has any sort of aggressiveness towards you, you're going to immediately lose the puck. Now watch what happens if you come down the wing and you hold X as well as L2. As you're skating and you hold down X and L2, you spin the other way. Now this is one of the most missed things in NHL 22, and it has been for the last 3 or 4 years. People just don't realize that if you hold down X, you will spin the other way. Again, I'll show it to you one more time. This is if you don't hold down anything. All right, you open yourself up to the defender. That is not what you want to do. You want to be always protecting the puck. So what happens when you hold down L2 and X? You spin the other way. Now, why is this important? Well, because it gives you an immediate stop, and it allows you to change up the play very, very quickly. All right, now I'm going to show you one of my favorite zone entries and just an example of why this is so effective. So let's say you're coming down the wing here, and you get pressured, okay? And you hold L2 and X to stop. Now, the major benefit of doing this is what it opens up. So right here, when you stop and you do that, you can go back to the point because the player's already overcommitted, or more than likely, he's already gone into the boards, and now you can open up and go into the middle. These are all things that you want to be able to do, and it is extremely effective when you hold down L2 and X. Now, you have to remember that it changes sides depending on where your player is, so this is why you need to spend about an hour in practice mode just making sure you understand what happens when you use these buttons. So, again, holding L2 and X here, now it opens up the other way, and again, you open up your body to the player, the defender, and that's because Couture is on his correct side. He's a left-handed player on the left side. Now, why you want to spend time in the lab and in the practice mode doing this is because in-game, you want to be doing it on a micro level. You want to be doing it at all times, essentially, when you're cycling the puck. What you can do when you start spinning around and causing your opponent to pressure you and do this, you're looking for them to overcommit so that you can get a shot at the net, and this goes on both sides of the rink. You want to get comfortable making sure that when you hit these buttons, you know exactly where you're going to do. And now you have to make sure that you're aiming your left stick, your skating stick, in the direction that you want to spin as well. And again, this is just something that you're going to have to get used to by practicing it. So again, I'll show you one more time. This is when you hold L2 and X back towards the player, puck towards the boards, protecting it. And when you hold down L2 with an opposite-handed player, you open yourself up to get attacked and lose the puck very, very easily. And again, like I said, there are lots of things that you can set up by doing this, and you just need to sit here and practice, and it is going to take some time to get used to it. I would not recommend doing this in game because it's going to be very frustrating, and more than likely you're going to lose the puck more than you actually set something up with it. So just keep that in mind, and again, with the use of this, you are going to see probably the biggest improvement in goals and just offense overall. All right, now here are some clips using it in action. You'll see me with Team of the Year Rantanen in this clip. Obviously, the better players, it's going to be easier. Watch how I'm always keeping my back to the player that he is pressuring me with. The entire time, I'm waiting for the back door to open up or a free lane, and in this case, he pressures me too much, and I'm able to hammer the one-timer home. And again, this is all just set up because he is trying to focus too much on getting the puck away from Rantanen, and I'm protecting it at all times. Here's another example. Once you get really comfortable with it, like I said, you can stop paying attention to the player you're actually controlling. And again, you're just waiting for a lane to open up. And once they get kind of impatient and start pressuring you, that's when you can spin and cause some misdirects. And right here, I'm able to score with Lemieux extremely easy. Here's one more that I basically utilize the new Team of the Year Adam Fox the entire time to score a goal, and I'm living on the half spins because I know that my opponent is having a hard time getting me off the puck while I'm doing it. And obviously, guys, this is why the agility, puck control, balance, all of those stats are so important. It's why I talk about it so much, as well as elite edges. This clip right here illustrates it perfectly. You'll notice that he's really not chasing me at all. He just sits in front of the net protecting the backdoor pass while I'm doing this. So I pass it around a little bit, and what happens more often than not when you're doing this is that players get impatient. You notice that he steps up, he gets sick of me having the puck, and it's in the back of the net. All right, guys, now the next thing I want to cover is same side defensemen. So I get a lot of questions about why don't I have the opposite-handed defense in NHL 22. So what I mean by that is right-handed defenseman on the left side and left-handed defenseman on the right side. And for the majority of the last 15 years of NHL, especially competitively, you always want to have your defensemen just like your wingers on their offhand so that you can always have one-timer set up at the point. The thing about NHL 22, at least up until this point right now, is that one-timers D to D cleanly just don't go in at nearly the same clip as they have in the past. Now, obviously, if the pucks are tipped and things like that, they go in all the time, but clean D to D one-timers, you just don't see it as often. And I have some of the best defensemen that you can possibly get in NHL 22. So that right there kind of eliminates the biggest advantage that you get from it. So let's talk about the positives and what you gain by playing your defensemen on their strong side. So left-handed players on the left side and right-handed players on the right side. The first thing is the breakouts. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I'm going to show you, like I have in prior videos, the best way, in my opinion, to break out in NHL 22, and that's by simply shooting the puck. Just by flicking up, the amount of power and speed that you can get from those aimed correctly will give you a gigantic advantage as opposed to just passing. The other big advantage that you gain from it is that while people are controlling their players, they don't act, defensemen defending you do not act as if it is a pass, meaning that it is very difficult for them to intercept. I'm going to show you some clips here as to how you use it effectively. All right, now in this clip here, you're going to see that I picked the puck up down in the corner with Victor Hedman, a left-handed player, and I'm going to break it out up the left side. I'm going to have a lot more accuracy when breaking this puck out, and I'm able to fire a nice wrist shot. If I had Adam Fox in the reverse and I had a right-handed player here, I would have to shoot it off the boards, which is obviously going to take out some of the speed and velocity on it, and I'm able to send it all the way up and beat his defenseman. This ends up leading to a goal, and just an easy example as to why I like having the left-handed defenseman on the left side and righties on the right. The breakout is where you see it the most, especially if you're trying to just make passes up the ice, because passing in NHL 22 has reverted to a much more difficult method where you really have to aim and lead your passes. If you're on the backhand, it really gives you a much more difficult time. Now, the reason why you want to get really good at shooting passes out of the zone is because you can do it in more than just behind your own net trying to fire it up the boards. In this clip here, you're going to see that I'm able to just fire it far side off of the boards. Once you get really good at making these shots accurate, it's going to lead to a lot more offensive possibilities. Like I said, the other added benefit of having your defenseman on the strong side is that you've always got your body in position when defending the rush. You'll see it here in these couple of clips. You're able to just stay with him, and when you hit R1 to pocheck, you're not stretching across your body. Just makes it much more effective when trying to defend players. Another big tip that I have for just puck control in general and breaking into the zone, make sure you're always going left and right with your stick. You need to make sure that you're causing misdirection. You're not just going straight ahead. That allows you to get your puck poked off your stick extremely easy. And again, you just want to always make sure when you're watching me play, I'm always holding the puck out or going to my backhand, and it creates a lot of misdirection. Next thing I want to talk about is kind of the meta goals in NHL 22, specifically with the wrist shot. Now, since basically the invention of the skill stick, going down the wing, cutting into the middle, and firing glove side. It was really the meta for the majority of the game, and that's still there. But this year in NHL 22 specifically, going far side, it doesn't matter what side you're on, whether you're a right-handed winger coming down the left wing or a left-handed winger coming down the right wing, the far side goals are much more easily scored than in the past, and it's really the main way that you want to score with your wrist shots. You'll notice in this first clip here, a lot of the times you just want to watch the goaltender, watch him go down and kind of hang on near the post. The far side is just open way more in this game. And again, in this one, like, you can just watch the goaltender while you're cycling around and see which corner is open, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it's programmed because in the prior years, they're trying to overcompensate for the short side going upstairs. It's just wide open. Another big skill you need to learn in NHL 22 is the manual sauce. So this pass is always going to be more difficult than a regular one. Saucing the pass over means that it has zero lead to it. Where you aim it is exactly where it's going to go, and you're obviously going to have less control than just a normal pass. The ways you want to utilize this, there's really two. The first one is if you are coming down the wing, and let's say it's a 2-on-2, and you're coming down the wing and you're near the goal line just after the face-off dot. There's really no other options if you were to fire a blind pass through the middle. It's just going to be picked off, especially in 22. Saucing it through the middle is going to cause a lot of havoc, and a lot of the times it will land right on your stick, and you're able to hammer it home on the backside. The other great way to utilize the saucer pass is if you are far out on a rush and you have a 2-on-1, if you saucer it into the middle, the player that is on the off wing will cut into the middle and the goaltender will freeze, meaning that you're able to just keep going towards the side you're skating and you can just throw it in. This is a very easy set play that you're just going to have to get used to aiming it, and again, it's going to take some practice. Here's another set play while using behind the net. Now, I've covered more in-depth plays while using behind the net in my strategies video, so you can go back and watch that. This one's pretty simple. As you cycle down low into the corner, watch for that guy to kind of cut and stand at the top near the high slot, and you can aim far side. You'll have to wait to get your AI to actually go there, but you can see it starting to set up once you're into the corner. All right, guys, let's talk breakaways. First, defending them. Let's say you give up a breakaway, it's one on the goalie, and it's straight away through. You need to start selecting and manually controlling your goaltender because it is going to save you a lot of goals when this situation arises. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, holding L1 or LB and X will switch to your goaltender, but there's more to it than that. The way that I do it that has an extremely high success rate is I do it at the very last second as your opponent gets in close to the net, and then you want to hit up and square, as that will do a diving reach. And again, this is something that you want to practice. It's up on the left directional stick, and that will do a dive out in front and a pad stack, really. This is really the most effective way to actually stop a breakaway because a lot of the times players aren't waiting for it, and it gives you a really, really good shot to stop it because you're doing it at the very, very last second. Now, when it comes to scoring on the breakaway, there's really a couple ways. Honestly, my favorite is still the Datsuk flip. It looks a little flashy and over the top, but I find that when players don't control their goaltender, it is almost a 90% success rate, and it looks awesome. The other way, however, would be just something like the backhand, forehand, backhand. That one seems to be the most effective in 22. All right, guys, so I hope this helps elevate your game to the next level. Make sure you leave a comment down below if there's anything else that you want me to show you in future videos. I love all of the feedback, and if you want to watch me use this stuff live, just come check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/nosleeves12, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, if you did enjoy the video. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.